Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Hold on. I'm like, give me the save file. I think we need to crank our gamma. I don't know how high we normally run it, but I've been told that it's looking a little low. Let's put it up at like 135 for now and just see how it looks. The other thing is, it's weird. I accidentally posted the previous episode like a week early, and now we're gonna be. Yeah, it's basically it was totally my fault. Instead of taking the video, like I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain once we see how our run looks here. Great HP, which is all we need to know so we can start bantering. Trinity Shield's interesting in its own right as well, and then, you know, Liberty Cap's got a certain je ne sais quoi in some situations. Basically, I'm still getting used to new YouTube Studio, which, you know, I've had available for like a month, and have actually, originally, I thought I would hate it, and I think that this is true for a lot of, like, you know, software stuff. I thought I would hate it, and when I used it for like a day, I hated it. But when I used it for a week, the things I hated started to fade away as I got used to them, and I started to realize some of the benefits of it. Now, would I prefer the old system? No, I would prefer the new system, but in, you know, taking some of the stuff from the old system that is completely irrelevant to you. But let me just put it this way. The system is built for the average YouTuber in the sense that, you know, somebody who publishes like 3 videos a week is probably going to love it because it has great quality of life stuff from the analytics side, and I mean, basically that's the big one. And then like it's all about, it's basically, it's predicated on the idea that you push your videos live pretty much as soon as you upload them. So for someone like me that will upload a video and then maybe not push it live for like 10 days sometimes, that's, I gotta invent my own workarounds in some situations. But anyway, so I looked at my list of Isaac episodes that had not been published, and basically instead of publishing the one at the bottom, which is the oldest one, I published the one at the top, which is the newest one. So that's what happened there. It happens from time to time. But it's, you know, it's all part of working it out, getting used to the new software. Everything's good. Today is Tuesday. Normally I don't get to record on Tuesday, but it's kind of an unusual Tuesday. We had an earlier team unity, and then I had to call it quits pretty early because we had an ultrasound that we had to go to, and everything was great at the ultrasound. I mean, it's surreal to like. I mean, this is our second ultrasound, but I'm just going to be honest. The first one, you know, the baby just kind of looks like a gummy bear. Is maybe a weird, we definitely want this. A weird but perhaps apt way to describe it. You know, it's just kind of, it's sort of like an amorphous mass of stuff, and you can only make out like really, really, really broad stuff, right? But this time, it was like a human being, and I was like, what the heck? Since when? So it all went very well. There's nothing to be concerned about whatsoever, but... So, like, number one thing is I was like, oh my god, we made life. This is incredible, you know? It's like one of those, like, with arms wide open moments. Number two, I will admit, if you've never had an ultrasound... can I just sing the praises of the General Electric Corporation for making those machines? Those machines, and the software is incredible. The tech was doing stuff I didn't know you could do. So she's like, first off, she's a wizard with the camera. It's like watching someone at AGDQ. You know, she's doing all sorts of, she's like, there's the babies, you know, whatever. And I'm like, I wouldn't even know where mine is. But then secondarily, she's like, now I'm going to measure the head. And I'm like, I don't think... you should be doing that. I don't know if you... maybe can we wait until it's born? And then she just did a couple of mouse clicks, and she's like, there you go. The head is, you know, like 5 centimeters in diameter or something like that. This is incredible to me. General Electric, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you managed to make this machine. I understand the technology, but that's unbelievable. You're doing great work over there in wherever you are. Probably worldwide, but... I'm telling you. And there's no shame in that. Don't get me wrong. I was overwhelmed with emotion, without a doubt. But I was overwhelmed with 2 emotions. 95% was, oh my god, I just saw the face of my daughter for the first time. The other 5% was like, these guys really know what they're doing in the hardware software market. That's incredible. It's, you know, I witnessed 2 miracles. Well, I'm not being facetious, but I'll say that I'm being facetious because it makes it seem like I'm more normal. Anyway. Feeling good, though. Feeling good today. You know, the Warzone games were 50-50, but I played well. That's not... I mean, I think everybody individually played well. We just, as a team, kind of didn't gel that much today, but it happens, you know? Happens from time to time. No reason to despair. We'll be back next week, or even earlier, perhaps. Definitely want these. Definitely do not want to pop two of spades. And really, like, what can I be mad about? The Isaac streak is still going. Monster Train is a beautiful game that I'm having a wonderful time with. Hopefully still, even as of the time of this video going live. Because as you can tell, my backlog's not that, it's not that big right now. There is a Tinted Rock. We didn't get that Tinted Rock, right? So, you know, it's good times right now. Pretty good times. Can't complain about too much. Everyone's happy and healthy and... You know, the worst thing that we've had to deal with in COVID is really boredom. That's really like, and it's not nothing. I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna take a shot at it. Like it's minor. I definitely agree, but it's not nothing. You know, but it's a very small amount of complaining. I was talking about it with David Miyazaki, who is not actually named David Miyazaki, but you may know him. We're gonna take them all. We got enough HP to risk it, I think. You may know him as David Miyazaki. I should have gone to the boss trap room. He's he handles sponsored deals for me and like PR and correspondence and stuff like that. And he's like, you know, because he's been behind on some stuff, not stuff that is actually offensive to me, but he'll like forget to invoice me to pay him, and then I have to remind him. I have to be like, hey, David Miyazaki, send me an invoice so I can pay you. And he's like apologizing to me for being slow on it, and I'm like, trust me, it's fine. I just get to hold on to some money a little bit longer, but he's like, it's been crazy over here with all the, you know, because of the quarantine stuff. He's got 2 really young kids, and his wife, I believe, works in like the medical field, so it's like, you know, pretty spiced up, obviously. He's like, because of that, I've had so much stuff on the go, I'm a little bit behind on some of this stuff. And I was like, man, we are like the exact opposite right now. Because we don't have kids and are not leaving the house, like, at all. Obviously, that's going to change. But essentially, I'm so on top of everything. Like, I've had to do a couple of, like... You know what? I can at least set that up. I've had to do, like, a couple of... last-minute alterations to some sponsored stuff recently, and most of the time I would be like, oh crap, how am I gonna fit this in, like I'm already blah blah blah, and I am working a lot, don't get me wrong, but you know, lately because we're not leaving the house except for ultrasounds and other baby related stuff and occasionally groceries, I'm like, yeah, like, you know, I can have that done for you in like 20 minutes, is that okay? I'm becoming a lot easier to work with now that there's nothing to do outside of work. Okay, hold on, let's think about this. Magic Mush is the first sign that this run is pogging out of control. We definitely don't really care about Bob's Rotten Head. I think we're in disgusting easy win territory. Like the simplest win you could ask for. The only little conundrum that we have going on is Bob's Brain. And even then, I think we made the right decision to pick it up. Like, this run is so good that, like, Robo Baby 2.0 is killing it. That doesn't happen too often. Robo Baby 2.0 is like, don't worry, brother, I got this. High damage piercing shots from, like, across the map. So as long as we don't get overconfident or you know, too cocky, everything should be just... absolutely hunky-dory. Not to mention, you know what else is helping out? Mom's Foot, which I'm sure gets buffed by BFF as well. This is like, it's outrageous. I'm thinking, okay? I think Krampus's head doesn't mean much for us. So I think you take Diplopia and try to double something that will be useful for you. You know, Sinvicta was telling me, I probably already told you this. Sinvicta was telling me double Brimstone is like a huge damage upgrade over normal Brimstone. Like it has its own built-in synergy. Who knows? Maybe this is the run. Maybe this is the double brimstone run. The so-called king of the resident sleepers. Yeah, that's basically what's been going on. It was weird, too. Like, you know, I've been in the hospital before. Been to the emergency room several times, and I had an outpatient surgery when I was in high school. I'm used to hospitals being, like, bustling. And then, to be fair, I want to be very clear. We were not going into the meat of the infectious disease ward. It's kind of like, we're going to, like, a part of the hospital that's, like, expectant women, expecting mothers go to, and they're just like, yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water, give me an ultrasound, It's not like an episode of ER in there. But it was like, can I say it was downright pleasant? It was quiet. We had a lot of space. Dare I say, it was one of the nicest hospital experiences I've ever had. They did ask us some screening questions on the way in, but in true Canadian fashion, they actually apologized, and then I apologized, and I said, I'm sorry, you don't need to apologize. That's the thank you, you're welcome of Canadian discussions. Is like, I'm sorry. That's okay, I'm sorry, you don't have to be sorry. So we want a little slice of both here, I think. I think we might even want this right here, just see where it goes. But yeah, kind of getting used to the new normal of, wearing a mask outside and being asked, if I'm sick. It really makes, different people, this is going to be contentious because I know, believe it or not, I actually have a lot of tolerance, to some extent, for the fact that these issues are contentious because it's such a sea change versus, like, the normalcy that we lived in for so long. But getting asked these questions kind of is making me think, like, man, we had it so good for so long. We never had to prove we weren't sick to get into an establishment before. We were playing with fire. For all of, my existence on planet Earth, I could go into a place and be like, 1 hour of sleep, clearly ill, and people would be like, hello, sir. I would love, how can I greet you today? I'd love to have your business, Nowadays, people are like, even if you look, let's just say it, I'm looking great. I'm making a joke. There's 3 Joker cards. Are you insane? Joker. Well, this is not diplopia worthy, but they are both takeable for sure. But now, you could look your best, and people are like, have you or anyone ever sneezed? And you're like, I might have sneezed like 2 days ago, and then they, off to the gulag with you. The Call of Duty one, not the real one. You could fight your way out for another chance at life, or to get into the Costco. I'm like, you know what? And again, I hate to say, because this can be taken out of context so easily. It's a terrible thing, what we've been going through. Even if, for me, it's mostly been terrible in kind of like a mundane and abstract way. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. It's been, truly terrible for hundreds of thousands of millions of people out there on planet Earth. Probably some of the people listening to this video, for sure. And you have my sympathy. But it's a terrible thing that society is going through. But at the same time, not at the same time. Let's rephrase, because again, I don't want to be unclear. It doesn't make it worth it. But if we could stop try-hard fools from trying to man mode going to work when they're actually sick, I think that'd be a dream come true. If we could end the pride over, I never take a sick day, then, I'm not going to say it's all been worth it. I didn't say it's all been worth it, right? All I mean to say is at least that there's some positive that can come out of it. So, I've been that guy for sure. Definitely, when I was younger, I have gone to work sick. And we've used, I'm sure there's a lot of people in here with me. Some of you, by the way, are like, I would never. Good. First off, good, that's smart. Secondly, there's a difference between I would never and I have never. I would never is like, maybe I've never had a job. I'm not trying to be mad, I'm just asking to see if you fall into that camp. Like if you're 14 and you're like, that's stupid. You're right and you shouldn't do it, but also, walk a mile in my Louboutins before you judge me. I think we just take the tears. I had to think about it, though. I genuinely did. Because I thought maybe doubling the HP could have been our play. I guess we could have doubled our tiers upgrade, but I'm pretty sure Screw doesn't beat the cap. And again, you do it for selfish reasons, right? In some way. One of the selfish reasons is that it seems kind of selfless to be like, yeah, I feel a little bad, but I'm still gonna go to the office today because they really need me. And then you're like it's the closest you get to being like a soldier, right? I understand. I appreciate that, by the way. Okay, sure, thank you. It was like, yeah, now I'm realizing, and I mean, if you had asked me this, I could have come to this realization, but I've never really had the need to. But now you're like, yeah, dummy, but it's not really about, like, whether or not you got the flu. It's about not giving the whole office the flu, and then Tina passes it on to her grandma, you know? Not to mention, just giving everybody the flu, it also sucks, but, like, on top of that, look, we can just deal with 4% less efficiency today. Just stay home. I'm telling you, like I told, I think I was telling Apollo this on a stream. I was like, we've seen a few public freakouts over the mask and temperature thing. And again, I've seen it in public when the last 2 times I've been forced to. I've been forced to go to the bank for the operation of my life and business. Sincerely. Hold on, I need to see what's going on here. I don't think... Let's take it and get spiced up. I don't think we take. I don't think we take. It's weird, but... We're gonna take something. Sorry, I should say I don't think we diplopia. But I gotta figure out what we're gonna do there. There's no reason to take the toothpicks unless you really want shot speed. Do we want a duplicated ball of bandages? Honestly, not really, but at some point we gotta get rid of this diplopia. Maybe next floor's deal with the devil is what we're looking for. But, you know, I've seen some slight public freakouts by Canadian standards, which is just like a juvenile refusal to answer the screening questions and, like, you know, berating the security person asking the questions as if it was their decision in the first place, like you're 2 years old. But then we'll lose this bone heart if we go in there, huh? If you want to really see some big ones, wait till the airports open back up for widespread domestic and international travel, and then somebody's about to go on a family vacation they've been planning for 6 months, but their temperature is like 1 degree over normal. And just, I'm telling you, it's a Seinfeld episode. I'm not laughing at the situation because it's going to be tragic, but it's also like a Seinfeld episode waiting to happen. I run hot! Jerry, you know that. I run hot. Tell him I run hot. Anyway. He runs hot. You just don't even want to interface with that. But anyway, again, just getting adjusted. You know how it is. Again, like light on anecdotes because we don't go outside all that much. What do you want me to talk about? How many cyclists I see outside? Don't get me wrong, I got nothing against cyclists. It's more just observational. I'm like, man, there are... Anyone else live in Vancouver or the lower mainland? Look, I've cycled here a lot. This is the most cyclists I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like, you know, now that we've removed the cars, for the most part, nature is healing. We are the virus. There's cyclists everywhere. Again, it's a positive thing. But it's just, I got no other anecdotes. I've got no anecdotes whatsoever. Alright, I guess we're pulling on this one right here. New PC? New PC anecdotes? You know. It's working well. Is that what you're looking for? Warzone looks amazing. I think we're gonna try this right up there. You know what? Absolutely. Then do we want another one? No! But the nail is like... Oh, do we get a damage upgrade from killing that enemy as well because of Death's List? That would be just nuts. You know, rendering... I don't render my, my average YouTube video, but like edited versions of stuff. Like, the rendering time on this machine has probably been cut, like, by 2/3, which is really nice. Now, it does... I don't edit enough to make that a major selling point, at least not yet. But, you know, if I added like a short little 30-second clip, it literally takes like, it takes more time to load the rendering interface to tell me it's rendering than it does to finish the render. I want to tell it, like, don't bother, I trust you. But apart from that, like, you know, we're already, I mean, previously we were already operating like a pretty good machine. It's not like we're going from like a Google Chromebook to like a supercomputer. Mostly you're just noticing like, I mean, I think Isaac looks a little bit better because Isaac is like bizarrely framey for a game of its, you know, textures. Everybody's done here? I think everybody's done. Per throw and per throw, okay. But you notice like little quality of life stuff. Not having to resync the webcam is a big one, and you know, games just look a little nicer, they run a little nicer, and they need less fiddling, you know? If there's something to be said about just booting up a game and it's like, hey, the settings you put it on, it looks great, it runs great, let's just leave it there, instead of like, oh, let's turn down, you know, anti-aliasing, oh, that looks horrible, turn up anti-aliasing, oh, now turn down texture quality while keeping anti-aliasing high, you know, you get the idea. Just peace of mind. It was just time. I'm hoping, though, this machine was picked bespoke from the ground up to last as long as possible. I'm very happy with it. Not just as it functions right now, but in principle, I'm very happy with it. You know, not in principle, but like based on the parts list, I'm very happy with this. So I'm hoping this one will buck the trend. I just hate giving Daniel fodder for saying like, why do you have so many tech support problems? It drives me up the wall. You might be saying he's right. The thing is, he's not right. We're talking about a man who has to change his audio settings every week. And also deleted all of his scene data from OBS. And also deletes all of his emails. This is a true story about Daniel. He deletes all of his emails once a month, according to him. That's straight from the horse's mouth. But he saves his old videos on the USB drives. So we're talking about a man who doesn't respect the fact that Google, you know, Gmail just has cloud storage for like, you know, 100,000 emails for free. And then if you want to get 1 million emails, it's like 75 cents a year. I know because I'm on that plan. So many media requests, you know. Oh, hey, play our game. Oh, 10,000 times a day. Oh, we love you. We love you. Shame about the pot play, though. Delete. But yeah, the man deletes all of his emails, which take up no storage. But then he takes his videos off his hard drive and puts it on a USB thumb drive, keeps it in a drawer. That's why I refuse to give him any more ammo than he already has. Because it's like, trying to think of a tasteful joke. I'm not, you know, it's like someone who's bad at something going like, hey, why are you so bad at this thing that I'm bad at? You know what I mean? Nothing that pops into my head is tasteful. Let me just put it that way. Like, I'm like, it's like taking driving advice from someone who gets into a lot of car accidents. No, let's not necessarily go down that road. That's a little macabre. You know what it is? Taking tech support advice from Daniel is like taking Mario advice from Daniel. There you go. I got back at him. The rare double insult. When the metaphor used to contextualize your badness also makes you feel bad, that's the rare double burn. But, yeah, I mean, obviously, for financial reasons, I would love this PC to last a long time, but also for spiritual reasons. It would be very nice for me if... Because you're under the spotlight, you know what I mean? Because we're, like... Your PC might be all jacked up. I don't know that. Everyone out there in comment land is like, I don't see why his PC's screwed up. My PC works fine. Yeah, okay, we'll try streaming some, you know, 1080p or 1440p AAA video games on it. I'm sure you'll see some stutter, and then we'll be like, wow, how many JPEGs you got on your M.2 drive, buddy? You know, we're held to a different standard as society's champions. I'm joking. I mean, we are held to a different standard, but oftentimes it's a lower standard. Like the standard I have for most streamers to be cool in my books is like, hey, just don't say dumb stuff publicly. In private, you can say dumb stuff. You know, people might tell you is dumb, but like, you know, we have friends who, in my opinion, will say some things that are not that smart, but when they do it behind closed doors and are like, hey, can somebody explain this to me? I don't really get it. I'm like, you know what? That's the way it should be done. When they're on their stream in front of, you know, hypothetically tens of thousands of people, and they're like, this is how the world works. I'm like, buddy, you've been sitting in a gamer chair for a decade. You don't know how the world works. I don't either, but like, why are we pretending? I don't understand. Okay, hold on. We want this. I'm actually gonna level with you. I think we want none of the... I don't even think we want Incubus, just for HP related reasons. And I think we take HP. I'm scared. I'm not scared because we took the HP. However, if I didn't take the HP, I would start to be a little bit frightened. Let's put it that way. Now this should be... I mean, this is a cleanup on Isle Isaac. I've been thinking about that. I'm developing like a whole treatise. Can I tell you? I hate puns. I've told you many times I hate puns. I think I hate one thing more than puns, though. And I'm guilty of doing this, but it's jokes that are not jokes. They're just universal punchlines that fit into every situation. So we've worked on a couple on the show, and you know, I hate... Just by saying this, I'm going to make myself very unpopular, because a lot of people are going to be like, that's my joke, and it kills. It might kill with people who are being polite, or maybe, you know, we have different senses of humor. I'm not going to say worse, even though I'm thinking it, but here's the thing. I would rather an original joke fall flat on its face than ever hear, that's not a blank, that's my wife, or blank sounds like my ex-wife. Or blank, whoa, that would make a good band name, you know? These are all jokes that, in my opinion, like, they're basically, that's what she said style jokes. I hate a double entendre. Like, let me be honest. A good double entendre, it can still kill. If you do a double entendre right, it can still kill. But I hate when you say a word that can be taken as a double entendre and like 9 people are like, oh really, you were blown away? Sounds like, you know, you get the idea. Blown away, huh? Oh, did you find it hard? You know, I hate it. Just shut up. I'm realizing I hate a universal punchline. They're the master of all trades, laugher of none. It's not just hate and fun. It's more like, I don't know, because so much of, and I don't know if anybody's ever figured out the exact science of, you know, what makes something funny. You know, it's one of those, like, you just sort of know it when you see it or hear it sort of things, right? Yeah, the more you try to break it down, sometimes the lamer it comes across. You kind of ruin the joke. But one of the things, I mean, it's weird, right? Because, like, familiar things are funny, like inside jokes are funny. To the people who are on the inside. Yeah, prisoners is what I mean. But also, like, novelty is funny, right? Like cleverness and hearing something unexpected is funny. Like, that's why, like, watching, like, middle school Battle of the Bands competitions where people play all the notes to a popular song wrong, that's why that's, like, the funniest content in the world. Because you're like, that's not how the song goes. It goes dun 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 dun, and you're going like, you know, like, I don't make the rules. That stuff's hilarious. That's not funny. No, screw you. It's hilarious. I didn't say funny. It's hilarious. Laughing at somebody while they're learning something when they can't hear your laughter is amazing. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up, when we have our daughter, I'm going to laugh at every school assembly. Now, there's a difference. I'm not going to laugh at the assembly. At the assembly, I'm going to be deeply moved. I'm going to be like, something that, you know, I helped create is up there on the stage singing like, you know, Little Bunny Foo-Foo or something like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be touched on an emotional level. But I'm also, you know, if we take video of that and watch it back, I'm going to be like, what the heck's that kid doing? That kid's not, he's doing all the actions wrong. What's that kid doing? That kid's like, he's elbowing the other kid because the other kid keeps trying to talk to him during the middle of the performance. This is hilarious. If you can't find humor in that situation, leave. You are joyless. You're on your way to a joyless and overly serious life, in my opinion. Which, bizarrely, is also hilarious. I don't make the rules. But I'm telling you, those universal punchlines, I'm coming close to releasing the hottest diss joke of all time. Once I can clarify in like a single sentence how I feel about these kind of jokes, it's all over. But I'm telling you. And you know how much I hate puns? And you hear me out here. I was gonna say I'll take a bad pun over a bad double entendre any day of the week. Here's the thing. It takes a ton to be a good pun. People are way too generous with a pun. That's why the #1 response to a pun is not ha ha ha. It's I see what you did there. It's because you're like, I'm recognizing that you're trying, and that in and of itself is admirable. I don't even know. Maybe we should have taken Hemolacria. Doesn't like we're gonna win for sure, but might have been worth thinking about at least. Double entendres for sure are the worst for me because it happens all the time on the NLSS, and I've made my discontent known. And I don't mean this to crap on any of the people that are involved in the NLSS because I appreciate them being there and I think they're all funny people in their own right. But sometimes I'll be in the middle of building a bit and the bit doesn't come together in 45 seconds. This is not specifically a Josh thing. I know you're going to be like, he's talking about Josh. It's not specifically a Josh thing. But so, you know, some of the better and enduring jokes on the NLSS haven't been jokes that have come together in like 10 seconds. They've been jokes that took a minute or two to build and occasionally needed some input from the outside, you know, not the person telling the story, but I'll be in the middle of trying to build one of those, and I'll say something like, you know, it was really wet yesterday because it rained, and then someone will be like, yeah, I bet it was, and I'm like, look, I probably laughed at that uproariously when I was 12, and it made you think that's the height of comedy. I'm begging you, can we move on? It's prosaic. I will admit, a lot of this is motivated by, hey, don't try to be funny, it's my turn to be funny. I think that's valid. Get annoyed by people stepping over your jokes, you know? It's like if you have something insightful to say in a conversation, and you've been, you know, waiting to say it for a while, you've been politely waiting until the other person finishes what they're saying, and, you know, listening intently so you can respond to them in kind. You've got this great little nugget of wisdom you've been holding on to, and then somebody's like, you guys want to get some more nachos? And you're like, I was just about to crack this riddle, brother. We couldn't have waited on the nachos thing for like another... It's a bad example because everybody always loves when you get more nachos, myself included, but... Couldn't have waited 2 seconds on the nachos thing. I was about to unravel, like, you know, the meaning of life as a millennial. But, you know, and then the punchline to this joke is, we figured it out later that night, the meaning of life as a millennial is nachos. And then, you know, it's a nice little, are you reeling in the years? I don't know what, this is like the end of a sitcom or something. Stowing away the time. You guys enjoying the summer of Steely so far? Is it the summer where we celebrate Steely Dan's music? I figured because, you know, we're all stuck inside, we could use some jaunty jazz and blues themed rock and roll from the 1970s that combines idiosyncratic melodies and rhythms with crisp production and just unbelievable harmonies. I mean, come on, listen to Dirty Work and tell me they weren't like the Beach Boys of the 1970s. I'm a fool to do your dirty work. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Summer of Steely is going on without a hitch. So, well, a couple of hitches, I guess, if you watch the news. But apart from that, hey, we won. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Click the like button. If you watched all 34 minutes and 53 seconds up to this point, I'm going to assume you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. In fact, it's the single best way to help out a content creator whose content you enjoy. Click that like button. Sends a message to YouTube. This is good stuff. Show it to more people. We get a thriving community and the pog rains down from the heavens. For now, thanks for watching. Appreciate your support. I'll be in the comments and I'll see you next time. See ya!